Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today. We're excited to have Jeff Franklin with us from TrueCommerce. Jeff is going to be presenting on how to automate and fulfill your e-commerce and marketplace orders. And I know you're all eager to get started with this presentation. So before I pass it over to Jeff, I just want to remind you that we are recording this webinar as well as all of our webinars, and it will be posted to our on-demand webinar library for you to review again, or if you'd like to share it with anyone. And if you do have any questions, we encourage you to type those into the questions box, and we can get them called out during our Q&A time at the end of our session. So now I'll pass it on over to Jeff to kick off our presentation.
Thank you very much. Good morning and welcome. So first, I want to introduce today's presenters. I'm Jeff Franklin, Channel Manager for TrueCommerce. I also have Craig Ross, Vice President of Sales for Nexternal, our e-commerce solution that you're going to see today. And I also have Greg Bellis, our VP of Pre-Sales Engineering for our integrations. And he is going to go through our pack and ship as well. So let's dive straight in to this presentation here. So, things used to be very simple, super easy. People ran down to the store, bought their milk, bread, whatever they needed, and made things, it was simple. And in order for those stores to get their goods, it was also easy. People that created the milk and the milk carton would send it off to a distribution center and it would just go straight over to the store whenever they needed it. But now with all the things that are out there, the omni-channel, the multi-channel, being able to order whenever you want, things are getting a lot more complex. So if you take a look at online ordering, okay, it's just amazing. Orders in the US and Canada are up 56% year over year. And for the first 2 weeks of March 22nd through April 4th, they just exploded. So it just shows that if you weren't online, you need to be. Now, 2020 online shopping stats, are up over 20% for the whole year, but digital traffic is up 16%, and this is amazing. Essential goods, things that you used to go to the big box stores, no matter what, to buy paper towels, cleaning supplies, all of the normal household goods are up over 200%. So, Q1 2020 online sales outpaced shopping, including Black Friday, Cyber Monday, from the sales of from back in 2019, which is just amazing. So if you're not online, it's crazy. But then what makes you buy online even more is, and I love that top one, is 39% faster delivery. So not only do you have to be able to take those orders in, but you got to be able to ship those products, quicker. And also the other piece is, you got to have better product images and, more robust product information. And the more marketplaces that you get into, you'll realize that everybody's asking for something that's a little bit different. So TrueCommerce can also help you in that as well. But today we're going to focus on our e-commerce and marketplaces. So here's all the marketplaces that TrueCommerce can help you connect to as well. And, we handle the North American, marketplaces as well as European and Asia Pacific as well. So it's amazing, once you get online, you could be selling your products in many different areas, or maybe certain products on certain marketplaces and other products on others. And then our e-commerce, which Craig is going to demo very shortly here, is something that's very robust, and he'll show you how easy it is to get going on that as well. So without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Craig Ross, who will show you how our Nexternal product can work. And there you go. I am making you the presenter, Craig.
Great. Thanks, Jeff. And now everybody should be able to see my screen.
We
So
do.
what I'm going to show you around our e-commerce platform called Nexternal. Now, our Nexternal platform does both B2C and B2B sales. So we're going to start from a B2C perspective so you can understand what that experience can be like and what type of store you can offer your B2C customers. And then we'll look at the B2B shopping experience and how, in some ways, it's very similar to B2C, and in some ways, it's got some unique tools and tricks. After I'm done, then I'll pass over to my colleague Greg, and he'll talk about the back end, and he'll talk about fulfilling orders. So we're going to get started at first fairway, which is a fictitious golf merchant. Right now, for all practical purposes, we could be on your website. We're not in the Nexternal platform yet. In this day and age, most companies have pretty nice websites. We hope you do as well, and that we hope that your site does a really nice job of articulating your brand and your brand's promise to your customers and why they should buy from you and feel comfortable shopping with you. What we use this to demonstrate is that you can take your customers from your website into your store just about any way you need to. You can take them right into right into a storefront, which is super common, right to specific products, specific categories, into search results, into a B2B store, etc. But for now, as I mentioned, we're going to start at B2C. So I'm coming to First Fairway and I want to shop. I click on shop. Now I'm brought in the Nexternal store. From this point forward, everything I'm going to show you is indeed the Nexternal system. Now, the first thing to notice, or maybe not notice, depending on your perspective, is that even though we've gone from the First Fairway website into the First Fairway store, and the First Fairway store, of course, is provided by Nexternal, from a customer perspective, I'm going to First Fairway and I'm shopping at First Fairway. All the navigational and branding and design elements of First Fairway live here in the store intact, so it's a unified shopping experience. I, as a customer, going to the merchant, and that's who I'm buying from. We've all had the experience if you go to somebody's website and then you click on shop, and then you've clearly gone someplace else, or you've gone into something that looks like a template, and it feels jarring as a customer. It doesn't feel right, and if it doesn't feel right, there's a good chance you might abandon. So it's really important that the shopping experience is unified, especially now. So I'm here. I want to buy this British Open towel. I can even see it's on sale. When I click on the product, what's really great about our technology is, yes, I want to buy it. I click add to cart. I see that fly right into my always on screen shopping cart. You know what? While I'm here, I need some teas as well. And now I have 2 products in my cart. And I've done that with only 2 clicks. As a customer, I never have to click continue shopping, like you still have to with most other systems. I never have to click view cart. I can always see a running total. And I never have to click recalculate if I'm buying multiples of a product. So the shopping experience for me as a customer is as clean and as simple as can possibly be. Think about the last time you bought something online yourself. If you're like most of us, it might have been even just a few minutes ago. You click add to cart. Most systems make the entire screen the shopping cart. Then you have to click continue shopping. And then if you're looking for a second product, you might have to go through a whole navigational path. All those clicks go away with this technology. It's just really simple for your customers to buy from you. The other thing that I really like about having an always on screen cart is it gives you a wonderful marketing opportunity. For example, you could have dynamic messaging. Hey, wait, you're getting close to free shipping. Don't you want it? In this case, I'm $30.01 away. Well, of course I want, everybody wants free shipping now. And so I'm gonna get another towel. I don't have to click recalculate. I don't have to do anything else. I've now hit that threshold. I get free shipping. That messaging goes away. So the always on screen cart, really simple for your customers, gives them the best experience, and it gives you a wonderful marketing opportunity as well. So that's the shopping cart. A couple other things that I want to show you in here quickly. If we go to, actually, let's go to apparel. And if we look at this Nike Sphere Dry Polo, which I believe is the shirt that Jeff is actually wearing for us today, I like this screen because it gives me a lot to talk about. Before I even talk about the store itself, let's talk about search engine optimization. SEO is critically important for our clients. That's how they get traffic. Therefore, it's critically important for us. So the URLs in External are as clean as they can possibly be. Simply the name of the store on your domain, plus the name of the product with an identifier which protects you, and it's HTTPS secure the entire time. So number one, we've all had this experience of when you see something online and you want to take that URL, copy and paste it, and send it to somebody else, and there's just tons of junk in the URL structure. Google doesn't like that. It's weird for the customer, but more importantly, Google doesn't like it. So as you can see, super clean and simple URLs. Secondly, Google is using HTTPS security as a ranking signal. All things being equal, if your product pages would rank the same as your competitors and yours are secure and theirs are not, you're going to outrank them. So really clean URLs. Secondly, you can fully customize title tags. Title tags are what shows up in basically the tab I'm in. It's the content within it. Customers don't pay much, if any, attention to title tags, but Google pays specific attention to them. So you can easily make your title tags customized to not necessarily be the name of the product, but match what somebody would type into Google if they were looking for your product. And I can provide lots of examples of that, but just so you know right now, it's really easy to do that type of marketing in the platform. Products can have what we call attributes, or other people call variations, colors and size, as you would expect for something like this. Now, maybe I don't want a black polo shirt. Maybe I want to get the same blue, royal blue that Jeff's wearing. Well, when I click on that in my image gallery, not only does it show it to me, it changes my attribute selector for me as well. So you're probably thinking, well, of course it does. You picked royal, that's what you want. And you would be right. But think about the last time you shopped for clothing yourself online. I'd say there's a 50-50 chance that this experience and this requirement are not tied together. And then if the person shopping is somebody like my mom, next thing you're going to know, she's going to get the wrong color sent to her because she did pick what she wanted, but not where the system needed her to. And now you have a customer service issue. So those types of things go away. While we're here, you can have multiple ship tos in the system on a single order. This is critical as we go into the holiday season and also critical for B2B. You can have order online and pick up if that's a requirement for your business, like you allow customers to pick up at a retail store or warehouse, especially with what's going on now. Order online and pick up is just, there's been tremendous growth around that ability. Social media tools are built in. We've got lots of stuff that you would expect, plus one that you might not. We've developed a technology called Facebook Share and Save, where in this case, by sharing this product, the customer will get a $2 sharing discount. So now when I go to this store, I have every incentive to share this product because I'm being incentivized to do so. And now I'm getting that discount, so I'm more likely to buy this as well. This is completely unique to us. Nobody else that I've ever seen has copied us on this yet. So I like it because it's unique, but more importantly, I like it because it works. It's just a great way to build a tremendous amount of backlinks from Facebook right into your store. You can have as little or as much product content as you want in the system. You can do things like embedding video really simply. Reviews are built in, which are also important for search engine optimization. You can have FAQs. You can have custom tabs like a sizing chart. And you can also do things like express ordering. You know, if I'm buying 1 or 2 polo shirts, this is the experience I expect. If I need to buy 1,000, like for a B2B order, this allows me to just pick the size and color combinations I need. There's even plus minus buttons, so it's simple on a tablet. And I can add them all to the cart with a single click. So that's built in as well. So what's really great is we don't force the customer to one shopping experience or another. They get to pick depending on what they're trying to accomplish at that time. And then finally, related products are built in. Here it's labeled You'll Also Love. You can call it whatever you want. Cross-selling and upselling, really, really simple. 2 other things to show you in here quickly. If we go to the woods category, we have products in here, as you would expect. But what I want you to see is that every category has a description field that you can put in whatever content you want. For example, we want everybody to know that these Alpha A15s are coming soon, and you can even pre-order them now. So in category and in-store marketing is really, really simple. A lot of times people don't think about that. They just think about categorizing their products. But the best marketers think about, now that my customer's in my store and they go to Woods, what do I want them to do? What do I want to nudge them towards, or what do I want to educate them on? And that's really, really simple. Final category, or really product I want to show you, are in golf balls. And I want to show you this Callaway HX model. And the reason I want to do that is, hey, we can buy this just like anything else we've looked at, but we can also subscribe to them. And this store can give us different subscription options and even have different discount incentives with them. So subscriptions and subscription management is baked right into the platform. So if you sell anything that's a consumable product, be it golf balls, be it food, be it ink cartridges, I mean, you name it, your subscription capabilities are baked in. So it allows you to build recurring revenue streams right into your e-commerce platform. Our clients love this when they sell those types of products. And I mean, customers just get this too. They don't want to have to worry about running out. And if you go to Amazon now for products like this, or ink or things of that nature, you'll see the Amazon experience is almost identical to this. Granted, we had it first, but this is what people expect now. So subscriptions baked right into the platform. So now when we check out, you'll see that we can get upsold. And so this is very much like candy on the checkout in the grocery aisle, except in this case, the candy is specifically picked for me based off of what I already have in my cart. And maybe I want these Max Fly golf balls. I can add them to the cart right here. I don't get taken out of my checkout funnel. And so it's just a real simple way to cross-sell and upsell if the customer hasn't already picked those products. We're going to log in as a returning customer, just to save me a moment of typing. And then when I do, the system's going to welcome us and bring me to my invoice screen. And then on my invoice screen, a couple things of interest. Number one, I can see from a shipping perspective my different shipping options if I haven't picked those already. For example, not only are the shipping options here, I can have real-time rates baked right into the platform. So I don't have to come up with my own shipping rate structure. We can get that from the shipping carriers directly. Plus, most importantly right now, I can see expected delivery dates baked right in as well, especially now with the state of the world. Hey, it's one thing to know I can order online and this merchant has it, but I also probably need to know when I'm gonna actually receive my order. So that capability is right here. We've got I can give different customers discounts, like Craig Ross, a great customer, he automatically gets 20% off. That's very simple. I can also have different customer types where different customers can have completely different pricing, completely different products even, and different payment options. Of course, we'll put this on our credit card, and then we're going to submit our order. So that's the B2C shopping experience. I went through that exceptionally quickly. If you remember even just a fraction of what I showed you, I think you're doing really, really well at this point. But the whole idea is that customers have the experience of going to your website, they're buying from you, and they're going to have the best and simplest shopping experience. And if it's simple for them, they're that much more likely to complete their order. So that's the B2C experience. So now we're going to change gears slightly and move to B2B. And so from a B2B perspective, as I mentioned, the Nexternal platform can do both. So some of our clients only do B2C, some only do B2B, but many now are doing both. Especially now especially if you're a brand, customers have the expectation of being able to go to your website and buying from you directly. Having said that, let's talk about B2B right now. So most of our clients will have a small option for their B2B customers to get from their website directly to the B2B store. In the case of our demo, we have a dealer login at the bottom. And now we're brought to the B2B portion of the Nexternal store. From a B2B perspective, only pre-approved customers have access, as you could expect. You wouldn't want general, Joe public having access to the B2B store. We're going to log in as Ted Knight. And then once we do, we can talk about B2B. So from a B2B perspective, there's several different things of interest. Number one, this B2B store looks very similar to the B2C store. Long gone are the days of, well, B2B is supposed to look like an order form, or it's supposed to look like just a list of products. Google has trained everybody as far as what they should expect, what they do expect the shopping experience should be. So if I'm going to Google and I'm buying something for myself, or if I go to Amazon, I'm buying something for myself, or I'm buying something for my business, I expect the same experience. I don't expect Amazon to just become an order form when I'm buying something for my business. That wouldn't make any sense to me anymore. I expect a real clean, simple shopping experience. So as you can see, that's here as well. It looks very much like the consumer store. Having said that, we do have a couple tricks up our sleeve. Number one, I can see when I log in, I'm seeing the wholesale price. I'm not seeing the consumer price. And I can have lots of different price levels in the B2B store. Not all of my B2B customers are probably the same. So you can control for that very simply. Number two, what we see a lot from a B2B perspective is, hey, First Fairway might have thousands of products, but Ted Knight, I only typically buy from a selection of products. There's only 20 products that are really applied to my business. So in that case, I've got my own Your Products category. This is just the stuff I buy. I can go and buy other stuff too, of course, but these are the products that I always want to start with or that are important to me. So that capability is here. Also from a B2B perspective, if necessary, you see we have this quick order idea. So even though I've just already described how Amazon has trained everybody as far as what the B2B experience should be, not all of our B2B customers are quite ready to do that yet. I don't have product imagery, for example, and my customers, it's very industrial, for example. So they just know the SKUs they need, and they just want a screen where they can just add things to the cart. So we can do that as well. The industry is moving away from this, but we do have this as a backup plan effectively if you need it. And then the final thing I want to show you from a B2B perspective is what happens for many of our clients from the perspective of their B2B customers is they tend to buy the same orders more or less time and time again. So instead of the B2B customer having to build an order each time, instead they can just simply go to their account. So on their account screen, this brings us to what a lot of people would call an order portal. And so here's where all of the B2B customers' information lives, addresses, etc. But most importantly, their entire order history is here. So for example, hey, I need to duplicate the order with a few modifications that I placed a couple weeks ago. I can click on that order number, and then that screen will give me all the information I need. What did I buy last time? I can even see the tracking info. I can get an invoice if I need to. But what I'm describing is I need to reorder. So I simply click the reorder button, and then this is going to dump those cart contents into the shopping cart for me. And so what's really great about that, instead of just simply trying to create an order, it gives me the ability to make modifications. You know what? These teas are selling a lot faster than I thought they would. So maybe I need to up my order to 10 instead of the 6 I had last time. I can easily make changes. I can even add or remove line items. And then when I check out, it's just a real clean, simple process. I can even be upsold during this as well. But what's really great about this, especially this account idea of I just need to reorder what I got last time, this is infinitely faster for a customer to reorder from their past orders than it is for them to call their sales rep and, hey, can you look up a past order? I think it was on this date and I need you to duplicate it, but start making a few modifications. Those conversations go away. This is way faster and more efficient for the customer. And it's obviously less service that you need to provide for your team as well. And since the B2B order, let's assume we'll be invoiced this time and put in a PO. And then we can submit that order very simply. So that's B2B. So I'm ripping through this content given the time we have, but what I want you to understand, which I think you do understand, but what I want you to see is that whether it's a B2C order or B2B order, both can easily be accomplished in this platform. In both cases, the customer's going to have the experience that they expect, and it's just clean and infinite and just exceptionally simple for them. Final thing I want to show you, because some of you might be thinking about this, is, hey, this looks great, but what happens if somebody's not at their computer? Well, mobile and mobile optimization built right in. For example, here's the apparel category in First Fairway that we looked at a few minutes ago. As a merchant, you don't need to do anything. This happens automatically. And so even though I'm on a small iPhone in this case, everything's here. So even my attribute selectors, my multiple ship tos, my social media tools, embedded video, you name it. So no matter what device your customer is on, we're going to ensure they're going to have the best possible shopping experience. So that's an external e-commerce platform from a customer-facing perspective. So now that I've ripped through that, I'm going to now hand the reins over to my colleague Greg, and he's going to talk about processing orders and fulfilling orders and the stuff that's of course super important.
Perfect, thanks, Craig. And let me share my screen. All right, so we'll pick up really where Craig left off, and now we're going to transition to talking a little bit more about what this all means in the context of Business Central. And so, what Craig walked you through is, of course, our e-commerce platform, what again we call Nexternal. What I'm going to talk about here is how we can connect Nexternal to Business Central, but also any other sales channel that you might have. So if you choose not to use our e-commerce solution, that's fine. Perhaps you're looking at WooCommerce or Magento, BigCommerce or Shopify, etc. We can help with all of those platforms in addition to our own, as well as a whole host of marketplaces that Jeff touched on in the first couple of minutes. And so really we'll talk about, regardless of what those channels are, what that looks like in terms of workflow and getting those orders into Business Central. And then the bulk of the time we'll spend on fulfilling those orders with our product Pack and Ship, which is our multi-carrier shipping platform that allows us to source any order from Business Central and fulfill that with our solution. So what we're looking at here is really what I'll call the back end of the Nexternal product that Craig was just showing. So those orders that get placed ultimately show up in here, and this is also where we would manage all aspects of Nexternal, whether that's the configuration of your product categories, the products themselves, subscriptions, and the like. That's all managed, in this, OMS, let's call it. Now, I don't want to spend a ton of time on that, because I do want to kind of talk, holistically here for a minute. So, what we bring to the table is this platform that we call TrueCommerce Foundry. Okay, and in this platform, we have a whole host of applications, but the initial focus here is going to be how we bring together these different channels and how we integrate them into Business Central. So how do we get these sales orders in Business Central? And so, that really starts here, which is, think of it really as an inbox where we're bringing together all of our order channels. So for example, if we were using Nexternal and we have an order coming in from Nexternal, it's going to show up here as a Nexternal order. If we're using Shopify or we're using WooCommerce, it's going to show up here as orders from Shopify or WooCommerce. And so at this point, really I can take orders from any source. So we think about marketplaces. Maybe it's a maybe it's a marketplace like Best Buy. Maybe it's a marketplace like eBay or Amazon. And so all of those again just become sales channels that ultimately get brought together into this one aggregated view. From here, these orders then can be brought into Business Central. So for example, let's just take these Amazon, these Shopify orders, we want to bring these into Business Central itself. So the system, you know, is going to process these documents. This would happen as an automated event in the background. And the result is that we're going to have new sales orders to work from in Business Central, and then we can fulfill those orders through your normal process you might use today, or we can fulfill those orders with our solution, what we call pack and ship, which is what we're going to look at next. And also, for those of you that are familiar with EDI or maybe use EDI today, this solution also handles all traditional EDI channels as well. So not just you know, the marketplaces and the storefronts we're talking about here, but also other, you know, B2B channels such as, you know, again, traditional EDI. You know, from an order point of view, if we come in and, you know, we take a look, so here are those new orders we just created. So here are those 4 new orders we created. Now, the 2 orders that were for Amazon, I brought them in actually as Amazon orders. Those 2 orders that were from Shopify, I brought in as a customer, in this case myself, the customer that was on the order. So I actually did a validation based on email and address, and determine, hey, does this customer exist? If it does, use that customer. If it doesn't, go ahead and create a new customer. And so those are options you have depending on the channel and how you want you know, that to work. A couple things to note as well. You know, when we're bringing orders in, you have complete flexibility in terms of, you know, how we're mapping the data into the order. You know, we want to bring in, for example, we want to bring in a comment at the line, or we want to bring in, you know, an order comment. We can do that, you know, and really pretty much any field that's part of the order is available. In this case, I'm doing a few different, you know, specific examples. And again, you know, how we deal with customer creation, how we deal with really all aspects of the order can be controlled by the sales channel, you know, that we're integrating. Now, when we talk about you know, pack and ship, you know, pack and ship is, you know, again, sticking with this idea of Foundry being a platform, pack and ship is an application within Foundry. And in this case, it's our fulfillment application. And so if we go look at, you know, pack and ship, we'll see that, you know, here we have a list of orders that are available, and these orders can be sourced, you know, again, really from external to Business Central or directly from sales orders in Business Central. In this case, we're looking at orders that have been sent from Business Central. And so when I have an order, and let's just say, you know, we'll just kind of pick one here, and we'll take order, you know, 1643. We can go and we can fulfill this order. We could do this in batch processing, or we could do them, you know, individually. But in this case, we'll take this one order and, you know, we'll ship this order. And so this is sales order 1643, you know, from a Business Central point of view. And in this case, you know, this order has, you know, a few items on it. So we're shipping some, you know, pencils, markers, and pens. And so, you know, look on the left, I see the items on the order. On the right is really my packaging. So this is a visual view of how I'm going to package up and ship out this product. You'll see that the carrier has been determined to be FedEx 2-day based on the order that was in Business Central itself. And at this point, this could be a good candidate for quick ship, where I simply say, you know, you could either hit F9 or click quick ship, where we say, hey, put all the items in one box. These are drop ship orders. I know the carrier, pack them up, ship it out, get my labels, complete the shipment. And that's exactly what quick ship does. So in this case, we get taken to a shipment summary screen, and that shipment is complete. And by the way, those labels are coming up as well. You know, so here's that carrier label that we were just, you know, that we just generated. Now, that shipment's complete. You know, I can move back and go on to the next shipment. And if I worked in that type of manner where I had a large group of shipments, you know, that were going to be, you know, single box drop shipments, I could batch process or bulk process orders as well. So that's what the batch ship up here is all about. Let me also go in. I'll select a different order here. So on this guy, instead of that quick ship option, you know, we'll look at this. In this case, we have a growler and some glasses. And so in this case, this is a good candidate where we might want to pack based on packing rules, because we know that 4 glasses and a growler get packaged together. So in this case, I can come in and go ahead and say pack all, and it's actually going to follow that rule. As you'll see, I created the four boxes accordingly. So there's different ways. I could also pack in here using scanners and pack individually, kind of a mixed carton type scenario. And we also have, and I'll show one other shipment. We'll quickly look at our optimized packing option as well. But again, in this case, we'll come on. You'll see in this order, the carrier is UPS. Now, I could shop across carriers if I like, or I could, again, use the carrier that was selected as part of what was determined, in the shipping agent in Business Central. So again, we'll complete the shipment. Now, when these shipments process, I didn't mention this in the first one, but there's a whole bunch of activities that are taking place. One is we're going back and we're updating the sales channel. So if that order source was Nexternal, we're going back and marking that order as shipped in Nexternal. If this is a marketplace such as Amazon or eBay, we're going back and updating that marketplace. And regardless of the sales channel, we're always going back in and we're updating the sales order and posting the sales order and creating our posted sales shipment and or posted sales invoice against that order in Business Central. And we'll see all that in a minute. I'll take you in. We'll look at kind of the downstream effects of what's happening. I want to do one other order quickly here. So this is very similar to the first order that we did, different order number, but very similar to that first order. And I just want to come in on this guy and show you one other option. So perhaps you're wondering, what is the best way to package up a shipment? What's the most optimal in terms of the lowest cost to me when I consider dimensional weight rating with the carriers? I consider the cost of my packaging material. What's the best way to pack it? And so for that, we have what we call our cartonization option. What this does is actually provides a visual representation of how best to pack it, which box to select. In this case, I have, I don't know, 10 or 12 different box types defined. It selected the medium box, told me, which items go in that box. And of course, if this was multi-parcel, if it recommended, using 2 boxes, 2 different size boxes, it's going to tell us that and visually show that on the screen. And so various ways to go about packing. You can see that Package Up has a heavy emphasis on packing, which really aids in, one, such as this case, in helping to, reduce costs associated to shipping, but also in the case of, notification back to customers, it ensures that we know which items are in which boxes, and we're notifying that detail back to, our sales channels. So we'll ship this. I also wanted to point out that I could go and I could shop services. So maybe I want to compare ground services. I could actually visually see those rates, or I could just tell the system, hey, go select the lowest cost or lowest cost within a certain number of transit days of a rating group that I define. And so you can see in this case, I said shop carriers, and it actually chose FedEx between the two in this particular, in this particular case. Okay. Now, these shipments that are being completed, right? Those are all moving into an area that we call, shipment history. So if I jump into shipment history is basically all shipments that are either in progress or that have been completed. So these 3 that we just did, 43, 44, and 47, here they are, and we're able to get real-time carrier updates. So the track numbers and status details back directly from the carrier in this view. This is also an area where we could go and, we need to look at, maybe void a shipment, reprint labels, or just come in from a customer service point of view and look at the details, of a shipment. I can do all that from, from this view. Now, if we think about, kind of, I mentioned the downstream effects, right? So now let's think about, okay, those shipments processed, we can see, tracking history, that's all great. And from a user in the warehouse, those are the screens I'm primarily using, right? My focus is using pack and ship to, pack and ship those orders, but from a Business Central point of view, if we go in and let's go look at our posted sales shipments. So we go and we look at, shipments that are being created here. So for example, here's that last shipment that we did. This was that order 1647. So when we completed that shipment in pack and ship, we came in, of course, we updated the quantities that we shipped. I also updated the freight cost. So I have created a dedicated charge item for the freight cost and updated that amount. And of course I did updates. I did come in and I did update the package tracking number. If I chose a different agent or service level than what was selected, I would be updating that as well. Now, if you remember, this is the one that actually was the rating where we rated between multiple carriers and really shopped between those carriers. So, if you're going to do that, that becomes important to, update those fields back in Business Central. Also, from a, we come in and we add a little additional detail as well. So in Business Central, I've come in and I've added some kind of extended views here where I can actually see the details of those individual packages. So in this case, it was one package. This is the one we actually used the cartonization option to tell us how to pack. And so we did, put all 3 items in the box, and we can see that visually here in Business Central as well. So we extend so we can see the details of which items are in which box and the track number by box. In fact, if we go back and let's look at this guy. So this is that shipment that we did via UPS. Of course, you'll see UPS ground and the tracking number. This was 5374 to ship, but I point this one out because this actually had 4 boxes. So this is that situation where we broke up those glasses and growlers into individual boxes. And so we see all 4 of those boxes here, and we could see the contents of each of those boxes. And so that detail, again, is captured, here in Business Central. And so what happened is when I completed those shipments, I went in, I updated that sales order, and then I posted, the sales order, and of course we ended up with the posted sales shipment with this additional detail that we see here. Now, a couple of things as well. So if we think back to, kind of that transaction manager view that we started out with. So here's that inbox we were looking at. This is where we process those orders. If we go look at our outbox now, we'll actually see our shipping notifications that go back to our sales channels. So these are the 3 shipments that we just did. And we're going to see all that same detail here as well. And these will be built for the customer that we did the shipment for. So, or the platform. So if it was an external, we'd be sending a data feed back to an external. Again, eBay, Shopify, what have you. We're creating those data feeds back to, to the appropriate channels. Okay? And again, that happens automatically here. I didn't send them just so we could stop and see. But for example, if we do open up, we'll just look at this guy. This is the one where we had that multi-box shipment. So again, we're going to see the individual tracking numbers coming out of pack and ship, just like we saw in pack and ship, in Business Central, and also here, because again, this is what's going to actually be sent back to that sales channel. Right. I also want to touch on, so that's the very, very high level overview of pack and ship itself. When we think about marketplaces and storefronts, typically we're concerned with orders, getting orders in, fulfilling those orders. Once we fulfill those orders, we want to be able to send back shipment details, which is what we're looking at here. So those are the big 2. But then we also tend to think about inventory, and we tend to think about product feeds. And so those are also interfaced with Business Central. And so, for example, if I was selling on multiple channels, I can come out and I can have the system through basically a single import event, pull my inventory and send it to multiple channels simultaneously. So for example, here I have an event set up that's going to go look in Business Central for inventory. And it's going to create individual feeds mapped the way I need it to be mapped for each of my individual channels. So when I click refresh here, we're going to see we just created, all of these inventory feeds. And so I don't have all of these perfectly mapped, as you can see, but you get, the idea. And I'll kind of pick on, I'll pick on a couple. When I create the feed, it's going to select only the items I sell to that channel to be sent in the feed. And it's also going to indicate the inventory the way I want it to be indicated. Meaning, if I want certain channels to only be a certain percentage of actual available inventory, I can do that. If I know that I always want a fixed quantity for certain items for a certain channel, I can do that. And so this can be configured in a number of ways so that, at the end of the day, we're setting up an automated feed in the background, but you can actually see here what's happening and how we're distinguishing between our different sales channels when we're setting the inventory, and in similar in the sense of product feeds as well. In fact, it's not something we're talking about today, but we have an entire product management solution, a PIM solution, if you will, that we're not talking about today that can really help with the management of products to those different channels. But that's the quick run through. I just wanted to end with one last thing, and then we'll open it up for any questions, which is, when we talk about, again, Foundry as a platform, one of the things that is part of this platform is a product called Pulse, an application called Pulse. And Pulse is indeed intended to help you keep, a pulse on the business. But, this is really a dashboarding and KPI tool. And this is an example of a dashboard, in this case, specifically looking at shipping metrics. We build these dashboards and include these dashboards with all of our products. So if you're using Nexternal, you're going to get dashboards like this for Nexternal. If you're using us for shipping, you're going to get dashboards like this for shipping. If you only use us to connect to sales channels, you'll still get a dashboard based on looking at activities of different sales channels that we're connecting you to. But these are quite configurable and quite interactive. So even in the case of the map, I can scroll on the map and maybe I want to see what are those 43 shipments that I've shipped to Virginia. I can drill down in and and see those shipments. So they pretty powerful piece of the overall architecture, really what we're bringing together, regardless of the individual services that you're using us for. So with that, that is it on my end. Again, a quick run through, kind of taking you through orders in the Business Central, fulfilling them with Pack and Ship, and seeing all of the updates along the way. So with that, Jeff, I'll hand it back to you.
Thanks, Greg. And yep, all I have here, and make sure that I am showing my right screen, which I am. So right now we're open for questions, and that was excellent. Craig and Greg, thank you. Yes, you went in and showed that it doesn't matter what channel we get it from, how we pull those orders in, how we can fulfill them. Again, very robust. We could spend an hour or two on each of these products, but we wanted you to get a flavor for this. So with that, any questions that you have, please type them in and we'd be more than glad. Angie, are there any questions?
Thank you, Jeff. Yes, we do have one question. How long does it take to get an online store set up?
That's all you, Craig.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that's a great question, especially at this time of year. Generally speaking, we like a month. If we need to rush a little faster, especially now, we can, but a month. And the way we get to that is we want to do that site sync where we're going to match the store to your website. And yeah, we typically need a month to do that. While we're doing that, it's the client's responsibility to get their products in the system and configure their settings. And they'll have a dedicated and external account manager assigned to them to take them through that process so that they understand how to use the system and how to do so quickly and efficiently. And then so that gives us time to do ERP, do the integration into your ERP. So month start to finish is usually what we see.
Great, thanks, Greg.
All right, I think those are all the questions that we have for you guys today. If anybody has any further questions, please feel free to contact your account manager here at Inovia Consulting, or you can reach out to the team at TrueCommerce as well. So I just want to thank Craig, Greg, and Jeff for presenting today.
Thanks
You're
for having
very
us.
welcome. Yeah, thank you. And it was awesome. And we want to thank you for your long-term relationship that we have had, and look forward to doing a lot more business with you guys and helping your customers out. Thank you.
All right. Well, again, thank you everyone for attending today. And if you're watching on demand, we thank you for taking some time out to watch this presentation. And I just want to make you aware of a new training workshop that Inovia has recently started. We have a variety of training workshops to choose from. So check out our website page at inovia.com/workshops for more information and to register for those training workshops that fit for you. And we do have more webinars coming up. This afternoon, we have Kate McLaughlin from Tasklet Factory presenting on Mobile Warehouse Management built for Dynamics BC Nav. So come meet Tasklet Factory. And then we will be back on December 1st with Lanham Associates presenting on demand planning in the COVID-19 era. So check out our website for more of our upcoming events, and that's inovia.com/events. And Inovia has a podcast if you have not heard about it yet. It's called the Inovia Conversation. And we want to encourage you to listen to our selection that our hosts, Steve Waltz and Jeff Progolski, have provided to us. And you can find out about all the different podcast platforms to listen to on our podcast page. And that's inovia.com/podcast. So check out the selection and subscribe so you can be notified when those new episodes air. All right, we thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you soon on another Inovia webinar. Have a great week, everyone, and have a happy Thanksgiving.